Got my handy dandy Maddog manual here. Oil viscosity chart. Yeah, looks like 10W40 is not even listed here. But then in the writing they say, please use a good quality 10W40 engine oil. And it says use the Wu-Tang Clan Jihan Special Engine Oil Band 4-strobe. Not sure, they must be talking about 2-strobe bands. Maybe red bands, green bands. And then we've got 4-strobe. And then it says 15W40 is strongly recommended. So mixed oil with different brand is unallowable. Break-in procedures, that's bullshit, just pin it. Intenance chart, what the hell that means. Engine oil, looks like R is for replace, I don't know. And every 1,000 kilometers or 5 months. Then at 3,000 kilometers or at 20 months, 8,000 kilometers. Not really sure how to interpret all this. Replace the engine oil filter. I don't think we have a filter. Here's what I was looking for, how to check the oil level. Let's see. Check the oil level after the engine has stopped working for several minutes. I guess I mean once you shut it down. The motorcycle should be placed on plain ground. I think that means plain, P-L-A-N-E, like a level or smooth ground. Insert dipstick. So I'm guessing that's with the bike not leaned over, not on the kickstand, but you're going to hold the bike up level. And then you're going to check it. And then put the dipstick in until it seats, but do not screw it in. That's the part we were wondering about. The oil should be between the upper and lower mark, so somewhere in between there on that little hashed area. Carried out when the engine is warm. It doesn't have to be real hot, just enough to get the metal particles mixed up in the oil, and you get the oil thin enough that it'll come out good. Replace the oil filtering net with a new one. Yeah, that's not going to happen. There it is. Pour 0.8 liters. Let the engine run for a little bit and then check the oil level again. That's a good idea. Okay, got the bike warmed up. Oil should be all mixed. We don't have to drive it around. It's not like a dirt bike with a manual transmission, so we're not worried about getting all that transmission oil mixed up with the metal particles. Just the engine oil. Engine oil has gotten so good that it can actually be bad for these motors. With your water-cooled cars, tight tolerances, good gas mileage, the oil has actually got so good at filming things that when you get into an air-cooled engine that's sloppier and everything, it can bypass the rings, and it's not thick enough for the engine. So they make an air-cooled engine motorcycle-specific oil. Most of those have additives in them, so your wet clutch, if you have a dirt bike and you have the clutch running around in the oil with it, to get air-cooled motorcycle engine oil without a wet clutch, with a dry clutch like we've got, I found if you just look online and find oil designed for scooters and mopeds, it seems like you're getting scammed because it's designed for scooters and mopeds, but there actually is a reason to it. Yeah, I got this Motul 3000 4-stroke 10W40. So the official drain plug is actually right over here under the kickstart lever. So that one right there. And you'll need a 17 millimeter for that. It's nice it's on the kickstand because it leans the proper way to get the oil all drained out of the case. I have one of these magnetic drain plugs. You can see there's quite a bit of metallic paste on there. Just get it good and tight. On the right side of the bike, just below the fan, is what they're calling the filter or the screen. And you can take that off, also requiring a 17 millimeter wrench. You'll find a spring in here. Don't dump that completely out just yet. And it'll have a little metal filter in it. I'll lean the bike towards you now. Make sure we get all that drained out of there. Now I can look down inside this thing. I didn't want to dump it out. I want to see how much metal made it into the bottom of this thing. And looks like a little bit in there. If you do have some chunks, take a magnet to it, see if they come out. It's confusing because you think the metal particles are going to be inside this screen, but the debris is actually in the bottom of this. So that's why you don't want to dump that out. You want to keep the oil in there and then pour it out slowly and look in there. It's the way it works. Oil circulates in that little hole on the side right there. You can see it right up in, right there. There's a little hole above my fingertip on the side of the threads. The oil comes in there and back up through the screen. But to put it back in, little end towards the bottom, big end holds the screen, and the screen end goes facing down. O-ring goes up towards the engine like that. And that's how it goes then. Then you screw the cap on. Take oil out in the sun. It's like a fine glass of Pinot from the Bordeaux region of France. If you look at the legs, you can start to see the metallic shininess on it. So yeah, quite a bit of metal in that. No big chunks, but a lot of little metal flakes. It's got a metallic tint to it. And get yourself one of these cheesy Chinese funnels that comes with every thing you buy from Harbor Freight, or I think it comes with your Maddog. Wipe your dog hair off of that. I'm gonna actually see how much oil this takes. It claims 0.8 liters. I think the nice thing about metric, that's cc's, so I got 500 cc's here. I'll have to put more in, but I want to see if 0.8 actually fills it up perfectly. I've only put 500 cc's in there, or 0.5 liters, and I've got the bike level. I've just put the dipstick down to where it hits, and I pull it out, and it appears that the oil is full. It's right there on the sun there on the halfway mark. So you think, oh, I'm good to go. Put the oil cap back in, start it up, let that oil circulate, and we'll check it again. Okay, good time to look for leaks. Everything looks tight, nothing leaking out. Good time to hear how cool your cam sounds. Okay, shut the bike off. I got it level. Put the dipstick in again, bring it out. Look at that, nothing. So completely empty. So yeah, you can't check it until you run it for a little bit. So there's my 300 more cc's, bringing me to a total of 0.8 liters. So I'm not going to pour it all in at once. Right there at the mid mark, and that's with 650 cc's or 0.65 liters in it. The manufacturer suggests 0.8 liters or 800 cc's, and it also says don't overfill. So in an attempt to satisfy both, I'm going to try to get that all the way to the top line, all the way up here, and see how much I can fit in there. That crankcase must really widen out at the upper level, because I think I'm going to fit it all in there. There's 0.8 liters. Bike level, 0.8 liters are in there. I'll run the dipstick down just to that where it hits, bring it back out, and look at there, right at the full mark. So yeah, it does hold 0.8 liters, and that'll make it full. Good to go. Time to send it.